It is 6:30. I will call to order the Wednesday, August 21st, 2024 regular Cedarburg School Board meeting. This is a regular meeting of the Cedarburg School Board and is a public meeting. Prior notices have been placed in the district and additional copies were forwarded to the city and town of Cedarburg, as well as the News Graphic and the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll open with the first item, which is recognitions, and unfortunately tonight we have no recognitions.
No, correct.
Maybe next month. We had a lot last month.
We did.
So maybe that's a problem there. Okay. Consent agenda, Dr. Clark.
All right, with regards to the consent agenda, board members, I ask that you approve the minutes from the regular board meeting on July 17th, 2024, the budget and finance report, which includes the check register, check detail, and credit card transaction reports, and the personnel report. Mr. DeRosa, Director of Human Resources, will provide a brief overview of the personnel report.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Clark. Administration has been very busy the last month or so, particularly filling our support staff positions. First, we're seeking board approval on the resignation of Sheila Piotrowski from Webster, and then contract approvals for Rebecca Giroux at Thorson, Whitney Clapper at Parkview, Caroline Heckman at Parkview, Courtney Smith at Westlawn, Drew Schurz at CHS, and Kate Darling at CHS.
All right, so I would take a motion to approve the consent agenda, if there's one out there.
I'll make a motion to approve. I will second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report, Dr. Clark.
All right. Well, the 2024-25 school year is upon us. Yesterday, we welcomed back all of our staff for the Building-Based In-Service Day. Today, we held the district welcome back, where we recognized all of our new staff members and staff members who have worked in the district for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 years. We also honored Cedarburg High School math and physics teacher Matt Captain with the Extra Distance Award. The Extra Distance Award is awarded to any current Cedarburg School District employee who has demonstrated efforts to make a difference in the lives of students, colleagues, and parents. This could have been the result of a single significant event or a positive behavior that occurs on a daily basis. Most specifically, this person positively impacts the lives of students and parents in the classroom and beyond, and positively impacts the lives of his or her colleagues. Other nominees for this award were from Webster Middle School, Sean Skipper; from Parkview Elementary School, Carrie Reck; from Thorson Elementary School, Amy Kahn; and from Westlawn Elementary School, Lori Prisbilla. All nominees were nominated by their building principal. We also honored Thorson Elementary kindergarten teacher Michelle Neville with the Excellence in Education Award. The Excellence in Education Award is for a current CSC professional staff member who has demonstrated excellence in the teaching profession while making a positive impact on student achievement. Most specifically, this person has demonstrated instructional expertise, creativity, and innovation in his or her classroom, makes learning engaging, vibrant, and relevant for his or her students, and energizes and builds the instructional capacity of his or her colleagues. The other nominees were from Cedarburg High School, Chris McCallum; from Webster Middle School, Christy Buss; from Parkview Elementary School, Nathan Lunk; and from Westlawn Elementary School, Colleen Huber. We have 4 more days of in-service, one tomorrow, and then next Tuesday through Thursday, and then the students will arrive at the schoolhouse doors on Tuesday, September 3rd. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Dr. Clark. Next on the agenda is public comment. I don't have anyone signed up, but is there anyone present who wishes to make public comment tonight? Seeing nobody, we will move to Recommendations, Dr. Clark.
All right, this evening we will be presenting 4 recommendations to the board. The first recommendation is for the board to approve the policy updates as presented to Board Policy 5460, graduation requirements, and the elimination of Policy 6120, safety deposit box. These policies were discussed at last week's policy committee meeting and forwarded to the full board for approval.
Do I have a motion on the policy updates?
I will make a motion to accept the 2 policy updates.
I second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That motion passes unanimously.
All right. The second recommendation is for the board to approve the revised 2024-25 assessment plan. The revised plan was discussed at last week's curriculum committee meeting and forwarded to the full board for approval. The high school has traditionally used a fall assessment day, and the revised assessment plan includes this date. Also, the plan includes winter and spring dates for the early literacy assessments as required by Act 20, and those were added just recently.
I motion to approve the 24-25 Cedarburg School District Assessment Plan update as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
All right. The third recommendation is for the board to approve changes to the 2004-25 support staff handbook. The proposed changes were not discussed at a personnel and finance committee, and Mr. DeRosa is here to explain the changes.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. Pretty minor change, but could have a fair amount of impact for some employees and for future employees. As you know, with the teaching staff, most of the turnover, resignations, and the hiring is early spring, late spring, early summer. When it comes to our exempt staff, most of that turnover is occurring in July, August, and sometimes even September and October. In reviewing the handbook and looking at our current staff, we've have a number of exempt employees, 12-month employees, who were hired after July 31st, which basically means they have to work that entire 9 months. That doesn't even count for the first year when we look towards their vacation. And so as we've hired a lot of people after July 31st and into October, by moving this date, those employees are able to, in their first year, have that year count towards earning additional vacation per the handbook.
So again, the proposal, as mentioned in your in board docs, is to move the date in which time can start being accrued for vacation from July 31st to October 31st. And again, when an individual is hired, they get 2 weeks of vacation. They have to work 3 years before they get 3 weeks of vacation. So
what was the impetus for the change?
Looking at, well, first of all, retention. We have a fantastic group of exempt employees, and as we were looking at where staff were falling with their experience in regards to earning vacation, and wanting to recognize those employees and reward their longevity here, this was a change that would positively impact a small number of employees.
Okay, thank you.
So when looking at this document, are we looking at
just the very top one.
just the very top one? We're not looking at any of the highlight or anything being struck in?
No, because
later
we
pages?
did that already.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, was this a change that was discussed with staff, or is this just a change being made? Is this something that is popular, or?
Oh, yeah, it should go over well for any employee certainly caught into this. But part of this is we have heard from our employees. This has been something that has needed to be looked at for quite some time, and there's going to be some employees that definitely are a benefactor of this, and there's nobody that is in a worse off position for doing this.
Yeah, but to that, we didn't necessarily hold a big meeting because it was one where if it doesn't get approved, we didn't want people to be disappointed because this will only be a benefit for them.
So will it be retroactively applied, or?
Yes, we would.
Okay.
So the order of operations, if this were to be approved tonight, to somewhat answer your question, we've all talked about this as directors and have looked at this over multiple administrative meetings. And then if approved tonight, each director would go back to their employee group and talk to those that would be impacted.
When was the last PNF meeting? Do you recall?
I think June.
Yeah, it was, well, we have one in September, but we wanted to try and get this done sooner than that.
So this was discussed in June, but not necessarily...
It was not discussed in PNF. This has only
Okay.
been discussed administratively, yeah. So this is the
Okay.
first time the board has seen this.
Okay, and no issue with it being here rather than going to PNF and then here, correct?
No.
Okay, great.
All right, any motion on this item?
I would make a motion to accept the changes to the support staff handbook as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. The last recommendation is for the board to approve the 2024-25 Special Education Model Procedures. It is required that the boards approve a special education model annually. The proposed model is the same model the board has approved the last 2 years. Mrs. Amundson is here to answer any questions regarding the model.
You're looking for questions, not making a comment, so.
Correct, yep.
All right. I don't see any questions, so if anyone has a motion.
It's just a real quick one. I didn't go through this entirely because it's not a change from last year, right, Jared?
Correct.
I thought there was something coming through the pipeline about meals and parents with students that have IEPs or 504s being able to request accommodations to meals if they receive something like hot lunches. Is that anything that you're in the loop about or anything that's come up?
No, nothing that's come up.
Okay.
This is particular for IEP documents and paperwork and like the legal process for families.
Yeah, okay.
And DPI updated that in 2022 and hasn't touched it since.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Entertain a motion if anyone has one.
So I will make a motion to approve the Special Education Procedure Handbook as presented.
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, that concludes the recommendation portion of our meeting.
All right, that moves us to the committee reports, and the first one is the Curriculum Committee meeting of August 13. Elizabeth Charlin.
Yeah, we met on August 13th. First topic was the 24-25 assessment plan update, which we voted on today. As Dr. Clark said, that was mostly to update for the CHS Fall Assessment Day, as well as add in information on the Act 20 screener, which is still kind of like a placeholder. We're still awaiting further information on the details for that. Next, we talked about the spring Wisconsin student assessment update, followed by an iReady personalized instruction update. Really, we focused on an overview of the personalized instruction usage, like minutes per grade, and then compare that to some growth for math and reading, with the goal being 30 to 45 minutes. I think one section of 5th grade was identified as going over that recommended usage, and that's being corrected for this coming school year. Also to note in that discussion was that iReady identified super stretch schools. So these are schools where 200 or more students had 55% or more students reach their stretch goals, and Thorson was awarded that for math, and Parkview was awarded that for reading and math, so that was great to hear. And finally, just a short update on the AP Pre-Calc textbook, which is a new math course for this coming school year. And regarding the e-book portion of that, the DPA or data privacy agreement is in progress. So looking at possibly doing an opt-in for parents for that, and parents who wouldn't want to opt in for that would have an option to use just the regular textbook. So that was our meeting, and we meet next on September 4th.
Thank you. Next is the Policy Committee, and I'm the chair of the Policy Committee. We had an extremely short Policy Committee meeting on August 14th. I think it was the day after the Curriculum Committee meeting, and we just dealt with the two policies that we just voted on. That was it. Thank you, Mr. Creer. Next, we have WASB delegate report, Connie Kincaid.
Sorry. Yeah, so just a review of the past year and most recent. As your delegate, I attended last year's summer symposium, the regional session and dinner, 3 policy and resolution meetings, EdCon in January, and then the summer symposium again this past July. The different topics that I sat in on were the power of podcasting, how Oregon School District is using podcasts to engage and inform, AI and policy implications, Ask an Expert with keynote speaker Richard Helverson, Engage to Empower Proactive Communication Strategies, Charting Tomorrow, Navigating Strategic Vision and Leadership in Education, Legal Issues, Social Media and Electronic Communication in Schools, School Finance Demystified, What Every Board Member Needs to Know in the Referendum Era. In addition to that, I do also tune into the monthly legislative updates and do my best to pay attention to those. The deadline for submitting resolution proposals to WASB is coming up on September 14th, and then the meetings with that are set for the 27th and 28th in Madison on that same month of September, on November 9th in Stevens Point, and then January 21st of 2025 in Milwaukee. And if board members have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask, as well as, of course, any parents, families, community members, etc.
All right, thank you. I will now take a motion or entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session, where the board may, wait a second, to deliberate or negotiate the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons pursuant to 19.851E of the Wisconsin statutes. A, consider the River Edge contract renewal. Also to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility pursuant to 19.851C of the Wisconsin statutes. A, consider specific administrator contracts. B, superintendent evaluation. We would then reconvene into open session where the board it says the board may reconvene into open session and may take action on one or more of the executive session items. And it would include approval of the minutes of the executive session, July 17, 2024. Do I have that motion?
I will make the motion to adjourn into executive session.
I'll second.
All right, assuming your motion includes the statement I read before I asked for the motion. Is that correct? Yes, thank you. We have a motion and a second, and any discussion? All right, we need to take a roll call vote. Charlene?
Aye.
Netzel?
Aye.
Strobel?
Aye.
Kincaid?
Aye.
Savaji?
Aye.
Erickson?
Aye.
Creer is also an aye, so we are adjourned. Thank you.